Hi folks, I hope you're doing well. It's 1:15 in the morning. Yes, I'm just uploading a video, the Fairy Village Walk and Talk. It's got a long way to go, so another 45 minutes. So I'll probably leave the system on, I imagine. Most likely, yes. Anyway, this video is called Change Takes Time. Well, to change takes time, I suppose. Well, change takes time, that's fine. Yeah. Well, there are people who believe that you could change in an instant. That but obviously you can't. The reason why you can't is because it took years to get to where you got to. Certain things can happen in an instant. God can heal you of a disability. God can heal you of a sickness. God can deliver you from demonic oppression in an instant. They can go. However, learned behavior, no. Learned behavior is going to take time to deal with. That's the reality. Because it took time to get there in the first place. Quite often, years in the making. Yeah, you are who you are because of years of learned behavior that's taken you in the wrong direction. Well, that's where it is. Yeah, these things do happen. Yeah. Learned behavior is a reality. It's something that we all have. And challenging that is not easy because we have patterns that we get into, patterns of behavior that we get into. That's the reality of the situation. I mentioned that recently about saying if you've got patterns, you need to deal with them. You need to deal with the patterns of behavior. Well, of course you do, but you have to understand that they're going to take time to deal with. However much you want to have things dealt with overnight, generally speaking, things don't work that way. It's exactly the same as when I've spoken about going to the gym. As I said, my aim is by the time I'm 52 years of age, I'll be shifting in chest press dumbbells at least 50k dumbbells. That's the aim. The aim is that by that stage, I'll be using 40 kilogram dumbbells to shoulder press. Again, that's the aim. It's not necessarily what I'm going to get to, but that's the aim. These things are going to take a lot of effort. That's the reality. Yeah, added to that, I think I was going to try and do 164 deadlift as well, which is not that much, really. That should be manageable. But again, I'm quite a way away from that right now, about 40 kilograms away from that, which again should be gettable in about 8 months, isn't it, really? In 8 months, it should be gettable. 9 months. 9 months. Yeah, it should be gettable, but it's going to take work. I'm going to have to work blinking hard to get it. I'm going to have to put a lot of effort in to be able to turn things around, to go from where I am to where I need to be. It takes effort. And it's exactly the same in changing things, going from a bad habit to a good habit. It's going to take time. Because like changing, okay, if I'm talking like changing, I'm talking like changing, going to the gym is changing my physique, changing my body. Making me more capable of lifting stuff. More capable of doing whatever it is, And that's cool because obviously if I'm doing that with shoulders, if I'm doing it with chest, I'm doing it with lower back, then obviously upper back gets stronger, legs get stronger, forearms get stronger, biceps get stronger, shoulders get stronger, lower back gets stronger, stomach gets stronger. Every part of me gets stronger as a result of doing that. So therefore, the hope is that I can then go from that to do more reps rather than more weight, because that's really, that's the pinnacle for me. I don't need to go higher. If I'm shoulder pressing my body weight, then that's good. That's good. I mean, my body weight now is 80 kilograms. I don't think it's going to go higher because it never has been higher. Yeah, going to the gym before lockdown, 80 kilograms was the most I could get to, about 80, 81. So it'd be the same now. I don't think that's going to change in the next 9 months. I have a pretty fast metabolism, so I burn calories pretty quickly. It's difficult for me to put weight on. So, yeah. Yeah, those are the aims. Then, yeah, instead of increasing the weight, just increase the reps. Now that should be easier. And then as I get older, maybe lower the weight a bit, but increase the reps a bit more. Yeah, because the body changes and what the body can do is different. Me now at 52 compared to 22. At 22, I could have run around all day playing football and then gone and played tennis and played basketball or cricket or whatever else, because I had that energy. The energy was there. It's not there anymore. I still have energy. I just don't have that much energy. That's the reality. Everyone's going to be the same. You're going to have energy. Even at 52, 62, 72, you'll have energy, but you won't have the same energy you had at 22. That's the reality. Doesn't matter who you are, you'll have less energy, pretty much. There will be the odd extreme. There could be someone who, during the years of 22, had a virus or something which took away their energy, and then they gained more energy as they got older. And so by the time they got to 72, they actually had slightly more energy than they had when they were 22. That's possible. Yeah. But in most cases, it doesn't work that way. Most cases, you have to change, you have to adapt. See, we all change anyway. We do. We all make changes in our lives. We just don't necessarily know we have made changes in our lives. I mean, the fact of the matter is we all do less as we get older. I mean, we often still eat the same amount, which is why people become obese and more obese as they get older, because they're using the same calories, doing less. So, yeah, there you go. It is what it is, isn't it? You know, you just have to run with that, really. Yes. Don't know, do we? We just don't know what the situation is going to be in any of the situations that we face in the future. We don't know what the future is going to have available to us. And yeah, that's incredibly understandable. We're not going to necessarily know all these things. What we do know is, like I said earlier, in another video I did earlier, you get to choose. But you also get to choose whether you change or not. Whether you change for the better or change for the worse. You get to choose that. Because it's your life. You're going to make decisions in it. Your decisions are the things that mean that you choose where you end up. So whether you go from bad to good or good to bad, your life gets better as you get older, it gets worse. It's up to you. Whether your relationships work or whether they don't work is up to you. That is the reality of the situation, really. There you go. As I say, yeah. Yeah, in the end, what more can you say about it? We are in a situation, folks, where, yeah, to a certain degree, I've said this before, one of the things that often goes against the possibility of change is that we live in a society where TV and news and other media is often pointing characters at us that are lower down than we are. We saw for years we had TV programs. Jerry Springer was one of them, where you had people on a weekly basis, daily basis, that you could easily look down upon and say, well, at least I'm not as bad as them. When was the last time we had a TV program, or even anything in the news, where there were people that we looked up to, where we said, I wish I was like that person? We don't get much of that, do we? That's not by accident, that is by design. Oh, it is, it's by design. It's by design, and don't think for a second, not for 1 second, that the media is really a free media, no matter where you live, because it really isn't. I mean, you can look at the media and you can look at the governments and you can look at the education systems as well that go along with what's happening at the time. And when the government wants to really seriously dumb down the population, the government stops teaching certain subjects. The subjects that get people to think, they go. Media starts pushing these negative people, the people that you look at and you think, well, at least I'm not as bad as that person. You get more of those stories, more and more and more and more and more. It becomes all about that. So, yeah, in the end, we have so much that's designed to keep us down, to keep us from being better. Because, and I've said this before, if you are in a society of people who want to do better, want to do better all the time, then you also want your leaders to do better. And the thing of it is, they don't want to do better. That's why they want to keep you in a situation where you don't want to do better. Because if you want to do better, you want them to do better as well. And of course, they don't want to do that. They, yeah. So one way they have of trying to make sure that they don't have to do better is to make sure that you're not doing better as well. But yeah, we can change. It's hard work. It's not easy. It really isn't easy indeed, because you've got to do what the word says. You've got to change. And as I said before, the thing about change is you've got to think that there's a good enough benefit for you to change. And again, is society telling us that that is the case? In most cases, no. Are our friends and family, is our church telling us that that is the case? No, because the church will not talk about the need for people to change, because that can be offensive. So therefore they won't talk about that really. They don't really want to talk about that at all. But yeah, change is possible. Not easy, but possible. And the fact it's possible means that we have no excuse at all. Certainly is the case where people seem to think that life should be easy. The problem is that you were never promised that life would be easy. And certainly if you're a Christian, you were never promised that life would be easy. Never in any way, shape or form. There you go. So it is what it is. You have to make decisions in your life, and whether you change is a decision for you to make. It's up to you. You have to decide what you want to do with your life. You have to decide whether you want to change, whether you're willing to change. Now, obviously, if you're a Christian, then there is part of you that is demanding that you change. And it's there all the time, demanding all the time that you change. But you're human. So because you're human, you've got your physical that really doesn't want to change. You've got your emotional, really doesn't want to change in any way, shape or form. Then you've got your mental that also really doesn't want to change. Only your spiritual wants to change. Only your spiritual is going to be crying out for you to get closer to God and closer to the person that God wants you to be for your sake. And that's the point. The changes that God wants you to make in your life are changes that are going to benefit you. God does not want you to change in any way, shape, or form in your life in a way that is not going to benefit you. That's the reality. As I said, God knows what's in your future. You don't. God knows who you need to be successful. You don't. God knows which of those things in your life you can keep and which of those things you need to get rid of. You don't. Chances are, if you're 17 now and you live till you're 80, chances are you won't get rid of every negative influence in your life before you die. That's pretty much going to be the case for most people. You don't necessarily need to get rid of all those things, not all of them. But you do need to make some changes. We all do. Some changes are going to happen quickly, some are going to take time. And for all of us, we have things that are going to happen quickly and some which will take time. That's the reality. But real change that's worth it, it takes time. Now, that's why, as I say to people, you can't look at someone else and say they had similar things in their life to what you've had, and they got themselves sorted out in 5 years. You've already been in that situation for 10 years. Well, the thing of it is that you may have twice the blessing to receive than they had. because yours took twice as long to deal with. So maybe it's because the blessing that you're going to get is going to be twice as big as the one they got. Which is why you can't judge people and say, well, they should be doing things quicker, but they were quicker than me, so they're better than me. No, it doesn't mean anything at all. It doesn't. We're all individual, and God will deal with us on an individual basis. God doesn't deal with us as a collective. Unless we're meeting as a collective, then he'll deal with us as a collective. But most of the time, he'll deal with you as an individual, because that's what you are. And your life plan is based upon you being an individual. It's not about you being in a church. That's not your life plan. That's not the life plan that God has for you. Because it's quite likely you will go into many different churches over your life. You'll go into one and then God will move you to another one. That is commonplace. That's change as well, isn't it? And that's change that isn't always comfortable. Because you get to know people and you don't really want to then have those people gone and then have to start all over again, getting to know a new lot of people. That's not good. Mollie's doing body burps. You got a stinky bum, Mollie Collie? Yeah, your tail was wagging. I'll ask her that and her tail wags. She knows, didn't you? You know, didn't you? Hey, you got a stinky bum? Yeah, indeed. Okay. It's food time for them in a second anyway, so. Yeah, indeed. Right. There you go, pups. There you go, folks. I better deal with these doggies now. Give them some food and give them a chance to pee and poo. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.